Oh man, here we go. First video of the channel, we're gonna diss a whole community. Oh well, what can you do? Okay, today we're gonna be talking about the top 5 plot holes in One Piece. Now, before you go on saying, oh, why are you talking about plot holes in One Piece? Are you a hater? No, before you say that, I am an avid fan of One Piece, okay? One Piece has been my childhood anime ever since I can remember. But for 20 years, you have to admit, even One Piece has its own problems with consistencies and plot holes into it. I mean, this show has been going on for 20 years. You can't expect it to be perfect. But don't worry, today I'll just be going on the 5 inconsistencies and plot holes in One Piece. Now, before we say that, the only rule to this is I'm only going to be applying it to the manga and anime. No filler and no movie tie-ins. So, without further ado, I guess we gotta jump into the video. Oh, I can already hear the fans yelling at me for this one. Okay, let me explain. Okay, so pointing out in the series, Shanks is not only one of the Yonko, but basically one of the strongest people in One Piece. And now, I can't really explain this, but he had his whole arm cut off by a Sea King. Not even that, it's like Sea King Jr. It's like the little baby of the Sea King that didn't want to be a Sea King. Now, if you just look at the scene and compare it to the stuff we've seen Shanks do, including dueling with Mihawk, though we never saw the duel and we don't know what really happened, stopping the war of Marineford, clashing with not only Whitebeard, but possibly Kaido, and walking out of there without any scratches. And do you really expect me to believe that someone like Shanks, with the caliber and power he has, couldn't just easily flick the Sea King with just a punch of his pinky? Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, no, he did that so he can show Luffy about the dangers of being a pirate. No. I hear that explanation too many times. And here's the thing. Shanks could have done that without losing his arm. What Shanks was trying to do was inspire Luffy to not give up on his dreams. But the way I see it, he could have easily just used Haki. Why didn't he use Haki, first of all? He used the Conqueror's Haki to throw away the fish. Or the Sea King, this matter, yeah, quote-unquote Sea King. But he could have easily just used armament or Conqueror's Haki, shown Luffy how strong a pirate of his caliber could be, while at the same time inspiring him and not losing an arm. I mean, Luffy was only 5. It's not really that hard to inspire a 5-year-old. Come on, guys. All you needed was just Shanks to pull out a badass move, and boom, Luffy's like, wow, and then Shanks give him his hat, give this back to me when you become a famous pirate, and boom, One Piece could have just gone on the same, just with Shanks having his arm and being one of the strongest pirates in the sea. Well, not like he's not already the strongest, but he could have been more strong, you know. Shanks with 2 arms, that's just super scary for anybody in the sea. Oh, Galdino, Mr. 3, we're going on to you now. Number 4 on the list is Mr. 3 floating on water. Now, most of you don't really know this, and it's usually a throwaway gag since people don't really know that much about Mr. 3 or even care about him, since probably you guys don't even care about what he did in Alabasta and mostly just remember him from the Impel Down saga. But let's not forget about this manga panel right here. Here, Mr. Galdino, or Mr. 3, he's floating in water. And now, I'm sure this goes without saying, but the common knowledge about devil fruit user is, once you eat a devil fruit, not only do you lose your ability to swim, but apparently you turn into a hammer, as what Luffy says, basically sink it to the bottom of the ocean because you can't move your body. Here Galdino, with half his body submerged in the water, how is he able to talk or speak or even, why is he floating? Now some people say, oh no, he's floating on a piece of driftwood. I don't know any kind of piece of wood that's that small and you wouldn't really notice, but if it was, I'm pretty sure Oda would have showed us or indicated some kind of sign that he's floating on water. Eneru. Man, I really like Eneru. When I saw him in Skypiea, he was cool. Ever since we saw a Smoker with his Logia ability and Crocodile with his, I was like, oh sweet, not only do we have another Logia user, but it's the best elements ever, lightning. I was like, there's no way any of the Straw Hats can beat this guy. But then, you find out that just like Crocodile, he has a natural weakness. Devil fruit users have weakness to water. Yeah, that's for all devil fruits. But some devil fruits have a natural weakness. As in Crocodile's natural weakness is moisture. Not just water, any moisture. As in water, juice, sweat, blood, tears, anything that's wet, it can basically beat Crocodile. Now, with the Guro Nomi, the one that Eneru ate, now his weakness are basically things that can conduct electricity. Say, rubber. That's why, in the end of the saga, Luffy was able to smack Eneru. But let's backtrack for a sec. So basically, Eneru's weakness is anything that cannot conduct or flow through electricity. How is he still alive? Let me elaborate. Remember the fight between this guy? Yeah, you guys might have forgot about him. It's basically Wiper's wingman, Kamakuri. Basically, one of the Shandorian warriors. Now, as you see here, he carries a spear with him. Now, it's not really that elaborated on the manga, but in the anime, we're kind of shown that it's made out of wood, and at the tip is some all accounts, Eneru should have died right there. But you want to know why? Because wood does not conduct electricity, which means even if he was a Logia, he should have died. Just like when Luffy punched him, he couldn't turn into electricity. How did Luffy beat Eneru? Because he was rubber. Why didn't he lose because of Katakuri? I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give you that one, Eneru. Can't really explain yourself out of that. You may be a god, but after seeing what Luffy did to you, looks like you're not as invincible as I thought. Too bad. This plot hole really hit you with that one. Okay, Nami. Climate attacked. Okay, she got that from Usopp. Back in Alabasta, when Nami asked Usopp if she could have a weapon since she didn't have any monster strength like the other guys. Or even a weapon she could use herself like Usopp. So Usopp made her a staff called the Climate Attack. Okay, and she's been using that roughly for about half of the story until they reach Water 7. And then when they were going to Eddie's lobby, she pulled out the perfect Climate Attack. And as stated by her, oh, this was the last thing Usopp gave to me before he left. But when did Usopp have time to make this? Now, in the manga, I could see where he could have made it, since unlike in the anime with the G8 arc with the filler, the anime they showed another way where they got to Skypiea. In the manga, instead of going to any other island, as soon as they plopped to the ocean, they just sailed straight until they reached Water 7. So, I can see when Usopp had time to make it, but when did Usopp have time to give it to her? Since ever since then, they were trying to find ways how to get the money to repair the Mary. And Usopp even fought with Luffy and kept the Mary with him. And as a panel I'm going to show you here, when they all barged in Iceberg's room to fight CP9 for the first time, why does she have the normal climb attack when Usopp made her an advanced one, which not only isn't for party tricks, but has dials which she can use for actual combat? Come on, Nami, you're supposed to be the smart one of the team. Come on, you can't be doing this. Hey Luffy, remember back in Dressrosa when, you used your Gear 4th for the first time, in the story actually, and you said that you needed a time limit before you could, use it again, since it drained all your hockey out, and like you said, you couldn't move a muscle? So yeah, tell me when you were fighting Katakuri, you were able to actually full sprint Usain Bolt out of the room, even though by your account said that you couldn't move because of the hockey you used in the battle, which drained all of it. This is number 1 on the list because I'm pretty sure you guys will also agree on this one. In the fight between Luffy and Katakuri, Luffy goes Gear 4th but then stops to take a break. Now I would have been fine with this, him having enough stamina to talk and everything. I would have been fine if Luffy didn't start running right after getting out of 4th gear. Because if you remember what happened before, Luffy went into 4th gear to attack Big Mom a few seconds ago and then deflated. After that, he was so tired that Sanji had to carry him for a few minutes. So let me get this straight. Luffy goes in Gear 4th for a few seconds, deflates, and is already tired. Then a few chapters later, he goes into Gear 4th for a few minutes, deflates, and is able to run, even outpacing both Katakuri and Big Mom. I'm sorry, Oda, but you can't be doing this. I know Luffy got a big stamina boost after the time skip, but this is just too short. It's right after Dressrosa, they got on to get into Totland. It's not even that far from each other. How did he spike in stamina? So, man, these plot holes. Well, that's One Piece plot holes for you. I kind of rushed the video a little, mostly because I wanted to get this out before the month ended. But I hope you guys liked it. If there's any complaints, go onto the comments, because trust me, there's going to be a lot of complaints. But hopefully you'll stick around for the next video, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, and come again.